Greetings, conquerors. Welcome back. Welcome to week 7 of Level Up. Man, I am praying that these last several weeks we've sort of made some progress together. We've sort of done some things and gotten just a little bit closer to God, and our interest or our thirst for knowledge of the Word and knowledge of God has sort of increased well past hearing a sermon and somebody screaming in your face. And I hope it has increased to the point that we really want to get to know God. So the text we've been dealing with, I don't want to waste any time. Let's just go ahead and go for it. The text we've been dealing with is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. And again, it reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth." All right, so my assignment to you, or for us all, last week was to find out who wrote the text, who wrote it, why did they write it, and who they're talking to. And again, it's a little out of order based on how we've presented that sort of formula in the past, but that was intentional. So I'm hoping that you have studied that, you are studying that, and your information is increasing. And because of our sort of time constraints, we're going to move forward to the next thing. Please remember, as always, these videos, you can stop them, you can start them, you can put things on pause, you can just take your time with them. My only concern is that you get exposed to this. Now, when exactly you view this stuff and look at it and go through it, that's totally up to you. Grow at your own pace. So tonight we're going to deal with a workman that needed not to be ashamed. A workman that needed not to be ashamed. What does that mean? Study to show thyself approved unto God. A workman that needed not to be ashamed. Okay, so one of the questions that I have when we study this stuff and when we sort of go through life, one of my questions is sort of why somebody said something. Because the why is an indication of the purpose behind the saying. Okay, before we get into why, what is a workman? What is that? Okay, so you can't be lazy and be a workman at the same time. You can't be a bum and be a workman at the same time. See, unfortunately, many of us would prefer that God does all the work and He does everything, and then we just get to show up and experience God. It's like it drives me crazy. Church drives me nuts sometimes, because what will happen is we'll make plans for something, right? We'll make all kinds of plans months in advance, okay? And then for months, don't nobody do nothing, okay? And then a week or so, or even a day before, everybody's scrambling, getting on each other's nerves, trying to get things done. And then the day of, we're talking about what we should have done. We should have did this. We should have did that. We should have started sooner. We should have done this. We shouldn't have been trifling, okay? And then the program or the service goes off well, maybe. And then someone says, well, God showed up and did His thing anyway. God showed up and He showed out, and he showed us this and He showed us that, and no matter what we do, the power of God just still enters the room and does His thing anyway. Well, that's a load of bull. Here's the truth. God will always be God, but that don't mean we can be lazy. God has already done everything He's supposed to do, but we ain't supposed to be lazy. Just like we're supposed to study, we're supposed to be workmen. We're supposed to get involved. We're supposed to put in some doggone effort. That's the reason some of us have so much time to get involved in so much nonsense. That's the reason that a whole lot of us have we got so many minutes. We have so many opportunities for bull, because we're not really working on the things that we should be working on. We're not spending our quality, our productive time doing what we are supposed to do. So I didn't say it earlier because I'm excited about getting into it. But tonight we're going to deal with am I a workman? That's what it is. Am I a workman? Am I doing anything towards getting me where I want to go. I cannot pursue a relationship with God without pursuing a relationship with God. I cannot just show up on Wednesday night. I can't just come to a choir rehearsal. I can't just go to a service and that be that for the week. I got to get involved in this relationship. There's a personal responsibility with getting involved with this. I'm supposed to show up. I'm supposed to crack open the scriptures. I'm supposed to spend some time going through the scriptures. I'm supposed to do this on a regular basis. It's like working out, right? I want to lose weight, but I'm always eating heavy stuff before I go to sleep. That makes no sense. You know, I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape, but I don't want to work out. I think just daily activity is enough. No, it ain't. You know, many of us have forgotten the fact that when we were younger, one of the reasons that we were able to do so much is because we were constantly active. And one of the reasons why we can't do a lot of things now is because we're not active enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, so the scripture says, show thyself approved unto God. Study to show thyself approved. A workman unto God. Right? A workman that needeth not be ashamed. Okay, look, if you're putting in the effort, you ain't got nothing to be ashamed about. If you're putting in the work, you ain't got nothing to be ashamed about. How many times have you had to go to God? Now, we're only talking about us and God. We ain't talking about us and each other. We're talking about us and God, okay? Let me make that clear. We're talking about our relationship with the Most High God. We're talking about His approval and not being ashamed towards Him. That's definitely not towards anybody else. We don't care what those people think right now. This ain't got nothing to do with them. Okay, so if I'm putting in the work, I don't have to be ashamed. If I've studied and if I've studied and I put in the time, I put in the effort. Okay, everything else is up to God. And whatever God does with all of that stuff is totally up to Him. Because then there's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay, have you been ready to preach, but you wasn't ready? It's time to preach, but you know doggone well you hadn't put in the right amount of time of study because you let a whole lot of other things bother you. So now you're thinking, Lord, you got to help me now. You got to help me. You got to come with it so that I can come with it. Ever been prepared to teach a class, but you wasn't prepared because you didn't put in the time? Have you ever needed to take somebody to the feet of God? You ever needed to have prayer with somebody? You ever needed to help somebody get to their breakthrough or get to their deliverance or whatever the case was, but you couldn't because you wasn't prepared to do it? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. When we go to God, we need to go to Him having done our part. That's what we're supposed to do. So am I a workman? Write that down. That's your homework. Figure that out. That's between you and the Most High God. That's an honest question. Am I a workman? Am I lazy? Do I study? Do I prepare? Do I spend time in the Word? Do I spend time in prayer? Do I spend time trying to figure out the things of life and try to understand what God wants to do with my life? Or do I need someone to tell me what to do so that I'll do it? Because I'm too lazy to go out and do it myself. What is my current situation? Am I a workman? What am I doing with my life? How much time am I spending online? Watching people post things, post all the bull in their lives. How much time do I spend watching sports channels? Just kind of wasting my life away, talking about stuff listening about stuff that they had nothing to do with me in the first place. How am I spending my time? Am I a workman? My relationship with God depends upon, or the quality of my relationship with God depends upon exactly how much effort, how much work I put into it. There was a young lady who once said to a guy that she couldn't understand why, if he really wanted to be with her, why did he not pursue her? Why did he not come after her? Why was she putting in all the work? There was a young man that would say the same thing. Why in the world am I the only one putting all this effort into this relationship? Where are you at? Why, if it's two of us standing here, why do I feel all alone? Especially when you're here. That's often the same position we put God in, right? What are we doing? What is the quality of our relationship? How much time are we putting in? How much effort are we putting in? Because it is in fact work. Study to show thyself approved, a workman, right? a workman that need not be ashamed. Now, why in the world would the word ashamed be in that text in the first place? What is there to be ashamed about? Listen, when you go to a family gathering and the rule is you eat what you bring, right? It's tricky if you ain't got nothing to bring, right? If you ain't brought nothing, it's tricky because now the experience has gotten tricky. Now the whole thing is weird because you were supposed to have something in your hand, but you didn't bring nothing. Okay, that's all we got, y'all. I want you to write that down. Am I a workman? Figure that out. Okay, be very honest about that, and we'll see you next time.